What's up, guys? Derek here. Just a little bit of an introduction. This is the first episode of my new podcast, which I'll be trying to do weekly or bi-weekly, depending on how me and my co-host schedules line up. There are a few audio issues because I was a silly, stupid man, and sometimes I put my mouth near the microphone while I wasn't talking and decided to breathe into it continuously. So there's a few audio hiccups, there's a few background noise issues. I try to remove as much as I could, but there's still some stuff that I just couldn't remove. Also, we're working on getting my co-host Colton some new audio equipment, so his voice won't sound the best, but just bear with us. This is our first episode, and there's still a lot of really funny bits that we got to record, so just bear with us, and I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for listening. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's the Huggercast, the only podcast that's 100% white meat.
Hell yeah, it is, baby. You know we only got the whitest meat for our fans. All three of them.
All three white meats. We got Joe Biden, we got Bernie Sanders, and we even have Donald Trump for those of you who like a little bit of dark meat.
I just assume he's more of a Cheeto crusted like chicken breast.
Kind of when you instead of breadcrumbs or whatever, you use like Cheetos.
Yeah.
It actually sounds kind of good.
I've done it before. It's delicious,
good?
But okay.
All right, but this is welcome to the Huggercast, everybody. This is my podcast. It's kind of like a off the cuff type podcast where we have like a topic every week that we'll try to stay on.
I wrote out like 7 pages of notes. It's supposed to be off the cuff. I'm already screwing this up, man.
Yes. Well, put away your 7 notes about how the Jews own everything. We'll save that for next podcast.
Okay.
As you might guess, my name is Derek, or as you might better know me as Hugger Derek, and this is my co-host Colton.
Hello, everybody.
Colton and I have been good friends ever since the beginnings of high school.
Yeah. We were all in the nerdy classes together, and you don't. Hey, they don't. Friendship has survived.
They don't know that. You could tell them that we were the cool kids and we slayed tons of Asian girls.
Oh God, that is the biggest lie of my life. I was the biggest nerd in high school. I can't even pretend. I'm sorry.
What do you mean?
Today,
got nothing but big titty goth girls in high school.
Oh yeah. What am I talking about? Of course.
Yeah. You just forgot.
So, today, yeah. You know, it's all the partying I did in high school made me black out most of it. So
exactly.
But yeah, we're here today. We're gonna discuss. This was Derek's idea. The licensed games of our childhood, whether they're good or bad, that is to be determined.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know, licensed games are basically games based on an existing intellectual property, like a movie or a cartoon or a TV show or whatever. Like Friends, the video game. That's not an actual video game.
But I bet you money there was a Friends, the video game on Game Boy Color or something like that.
There was a Friends.
There had to be.
There was a Friends Seen It. Like, you remember those Seen It?
I do, and I am not surprised in the slightest that was a thing. Disappointed in humanity?
My family got a Seinfeld one, actually.
That one I can accept. I'm gonna go on the record to say this. Seinfeld is much better than Friends.
I was gonna say before we start the podcast, I want everyone to know. Seinfeld is way better than Friends. I want that to be known to everybody.
It should just be common knowledge, but half the people in the world are a little below average intelligence.
Yeah.
So
remember, it's as my hero Joe Biden once said, "Poor kids are just as smart as white kids." All right, we'll go ahead and start. Colton, you wanna bring this one home? You wanna start this one?
Yeah. The first licensed game that I remember playing is, if anybody's familiar with anything in the San Antonio area, you go out in the middle of bumfrick nowhere. There's no swearing on this Minecraft server.
That's a good Christian.
There was a small restaurant about 30 minutes outside of San Antonio called Busy Bear, which coincidentally I live directly next door to now, and it is the most depressing fact in the world. But as a child, I would go there with my family, and they had the Simpsons arcade game.
Oh,
I don't know if have you.
Yes, many a
beat 'em up.
Many a days at CC's Pizza.
I for the longest time that was the only place I knew to play it, and I don't know why. As a kid, I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons. It was too risque for my
me,
family.
me too. So I thought I was being a
But
rebel by playing this game. I was like, ha
I
ha,
did too. Because I remember it
Simpsons.
was they had Cruise and Exotica and The Simpsons next to each other, and I would play the shit out of it. I didn't know who any of the characters were, but it was legitimately just a very fun beat 'em up.
It really
I,
was.
I I remember taking Bart and just whacking people with my skateboard as little 6-year-old me, being like, and I know it was re-released on the PS3 and 360, but was taken down, which I'm
Yeah,
very sad about
I don't know
because
why they haven't put it up everywhere.
it would do well. Everybody that has played the game has enjoyed it. I've never heard a bad thing about it.
Especially with online, like, dude, 4-player
I
co-op online.
oh my god, I never even thought of that.
Yeah.
I never had friends as a kid, so I didn't get to play it with anybody. It was just me by myself.
You were
Playing
sitting
with other
there
people would be
in the Busy Bear.
yeah, oh yeah, sadly, and I will say it has not gotten better with age. The Busy Bear, not the game. Game still perfect.
They
Busy Bear
actually
is
they did another version for iOS and Android, but it's like it's not the same game. It's like a little different, and it doesn't no.
that sounds like a bigger disappointment than I am to my family.
Which sucks because they labeled it the Simpsons arcade game, like so people would think it was the same thing, and like people downloaded it and it's just like, oh, this totally isn't.
I
It's
would
just
have
not.
been so pissed if I would have spent money and not got the Simpsons arcade game.
I
I
would
would
have
have
been
been
very upset.
furious.
That reminds me of I had another one I was another game I was gonna talk about, but that reminds me of another game that was at CC's a lot. What was it called? Oh, Jurassic Park: The Lost World, the arcade game.
Is that the one where you sat in the booth?
That's a different one. I know they have a Jurassic
Okay.
World one, but this is basically the
There's a
one.
billion Jurassic
Yeah,
Park games.
the Lost World was like one of the earlier ones where you had the red and blue light guns and stuff like that. Oh,
Yes.
now that was cool.
I am a sucker for like the old school light gun games in the arcade. Even if they're awful, I love them.
I like Time Crisis and all that.
Well, Time Crisis is actually a legit good game though.
Oh yeah,
So
those are classic. They need
I'm
to put
thinking,
those on new systems.
yeah, I know. Or remaster them something.
So that'd be awesome because they had them for PS2 back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. I sadly never had PS2, so
I was a
I was a
PS2
poor
kid.
little boy. I was a GameCube kid.
It's like the
But
two rival gangs. It's like a blood and a crypt, except it's a lot nerdier.
yeah, and it's just people pushing up their glasses, being like, "Mine's better."
Yeah, no one gets shot, but definitely people did get their feelings hurt.
Oh, we were all very sensitive children. But you
And
said Jurassic Park. That reminded me, as a small child, I remember going to my aunt's house, and she had a Sega Genesis, and at the time I had Super Nintendo, so I didn't get this, but she had the Jurassic Park game on the Genesis, where I don't know if you've played it, but you could
that's the
either
one you
play as
play.
Dr.
Yeah,
Grant
as a dinosaur,
or a Velociraptor. Yes.
you would eat
And
people.
I remember being a little kid. At this point I was probably about 5, and I remember eating people as the dinosaur, being like, "Wow, I feel so mean."
I feel like such a man.
And now you go play games like Red Dead Redemption 2, where I will purposely just shoot people in the head with shotguns to see their head explode and still feel nothing.
You just play Grand Theft Auto and savagely murder a young family. It's okay.
It don't give me the feels like it used to.
They probably deserved it. They did something.
So you got any other games here?
Of course,
of?
there's a classic one. This one's actually getting remastered soon. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom was like my childhood.
I am so excited for that because I never actually played it upon the original release. I've heard nothing but praise for it. Even like to this day, I was Googling like, is it actually a good game?
It literally has no right to be as good as it is. Like
Everybody said it's a fantastic collectathon.
Yeah,
They're
it's
like,
just a really good
shit.
It's just a really good collectathon game.
So I am absolutely the day it comes out on I don't know if I want to get it on Switch or PS4, but
I haven't.
I'm gonna get it and finally try it.
I haven't pre-ordered for PS4, but I'm thinking of getting it for Steam as well, so I can stream it.
Oh yeah, because you and Ninja are gonna be best friends now, right?
Exactly.
Is he still relevant?
I think so.
I'm so out of touch with what's cool nowadays.
We're just so
Don't
old.
get old, people. It sucks.
The last thing that I remember that happened was he was at the New Year's like festival. Like they invited Ninja to that New Year's ball that plays every year on TV with like millions of people watching, and Ninja was there, and he was like trying to get everybody to floss in the audience.
I remember that.
He's like, "Come on, guys! I don't see enough movement," and like nobody was flossing. He's like, "We're gonna break the world record for the most people flossing. Come on, guys!" And nothing.
You know, I want to criticize though, but it's so cringy because all of this is recorded. I did shit that was way cringier as a child that, thank God, there's either no footage of or one physical VHS copy that I'm going to make sure nobody on Earth ever sees.
Or you have
I don't have to worry about that.
Or you have destroyed everybody that has knowledge of those things. You've made them disappear.
Yeah, well, I wish I was that cold-blooded, but I can't kill my mama. Peace out to her. She's the best.
We've all killed our parents before.
Speaking of killing parents, another licensed game that or series that gets a ton of love is the Arkham games.
I've only really played the first one. I played a little bit of City and none of Night, and no one remembers Origins.
Are you in the same boat as me? I played through Arkham Asylum. I loved it. I was like, this game is incredible. The whole meme of it made you feel like
a Batman. Yeah.
It was the story was intriguing. The scenes with Scarecrow to me like were legitimately trippy. I was like, this is nuts.
No, I was scared. I was scared.
I was so into that game. And then everybody told me, they're like, oh, if you like Asylum, you got to play Arkham City. It's so much better. I played about 5 hours of it, and I was like, I don't like this as much. Maybe it was a much bigger open world, and maybe I liked the linearness of Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, a lot of people like get lost. A lot of people like City because it is that like open world style.
And I have nothing wrong with open world games when they're done right. I love them, but for some reason that one just did not click with me. Maybe I played them too close together because I did the same thing with the Assassin's Creed games where I played Assassin's Creed 2. I loved it. I was like, the story's great. The characters are enjoyable. The gameplay itself is really fun. The location was beautiful for the time. Like, it looked great. And then I played, what was the one after? Was it Brotherhood, right?
I honestly haven't really kept up with Assassin's Creed. I've played Assassin's Creed 1. And it has not aged well. The first Assassin's Creed has not aged well at all. But
no, it is garbage.
I
played Brotherhood right after playing Assassin's Creed 2, and there's nothing wrong with the game. It is a good game, but I had reached my point of like, I've had my fill of Assassin's Creed, and I tried to go directly to the next one, and I was like, this just ain't doing it for me. But I gave it a few months, went back to it, and I enjoyed it a lot more upon going back to it.
From what I hear from a lot of people, the consensus is that Black Flag is one of the best ones, which I haven't played it, but I have it. I got it on discount at the store, but I haven't had a chance to play it.
That I hear everybody talking about. I've played it, and it is actually really fun. It doesn't feel like there was a feel to the Ezio trilogy that Black Flag is just missing. But it is a great game. The whole seafaring and all that, like it's fun. It is really good.
I think now that they're kind of just like hopping around time periods. Mm-hmm. They're just like
they had the Egypt one, the Greek one, and the next one apparently is rumored to be is it Norse? Like Norse mythology based? Basically?
Oh, like the new God of War. That would actually be pretty cool. Like
I would be into that. Or I heard a lot of people saying feudal Japan as well, which could have been.
From what I've heard from like people talking and stuff like that, they want to do the feudal. Well, a lot of people want them to do feudal Japan, but they said they don't want to do it because it would be too expected. And I was like, what? Okay.
What that translates to is Sekiro came out, and there's no way that
It can
Assassin's
never
Creed
be
could
as
be
good.
that good.
I don't know that I don't know what's wrong with Ubisoft. I really don't.
There's a lot of things wrong with Ubisoft. Have they made? I'm sure they've made some licensed games in the past.
They made a few of the Naruto games, which I was gonna talk about.
Yeah, I was about to say that is your realm. I've never been an anime guy. Everybody I know loves it. I've tried watching it and I enjoy it, but I've just never been sucked in like everybody else around me
if you haven't been sucked by anime, then yeah, you're missing out. You really.
I really do feel like I'm missing out because I've watched like my girlfriend had me watch Tokyo Ghoul and I enjoyed it. It was good.
Is your girlfriend a weeaboo too? Because mine's a weeaboo.
She's a weeb. Like we were watching Neon Genesis Evangelion together. Is that how you pronounce it?
I've heard that's really good. Like I've heard it's like
it actually. Out of all the ones I've watched, that is the one that has intrigued me the most. Other than I heard a lot of people talking shit about it, and I don't know why. I love One Punch Man.
I think it's because I've seen a few episodes. I like it too, but I think it's just the fact that it's popular. Like anime fans are weird.
That's true.
When stuff gets popular, it's just popular to hate it.
It's fun. See, the thing is though with that, like I know My Hero is probably the biggest anime in the world right now, and I still don't see too much hate for that.
It'll come soon, I'm sure. I've watched the first 6 episodes. It's really good. I need to finish it.
Okay, well we can't get into weeb corner here because I don't know that much about it, and I don't want to label us as that. So let's go back to the other nerdy.
What's
shit
that? Huggercast is the biggest weeb podcast on the internet.
My name is Rusty Shackelford. If anybody is wondering.
That's a reference to something, I'm sure, but I just missed it. It went over my head.
It's Dale Gerbill's name in King of the Hill, which is just Texas anime.
That's the best anime. Yeah, I saw a clip of King of the Hill in Japanese, and that kind of that made me do the big laugh.
It made you big LOL winky face emoji.
Big rar, but
XD.
Just I guess I'll go through this one real quick since you're not super big into anime.
Oh no, go into much detail as you want. If you want to like let your nerd heart pour out, go for it.
There's just some really really good Naruto games on the PS2. Like the Ultimate Ninja series. Besides one hasn't really aged that well, but Ultimate Ninja 2 through like 4 are very very solid like 2D style fighters, and they're really different. Like because the whole ninja and like thing, there's just a lot of different stuff that you just don't see in other fighters. I know
another anime fighter that I remember specifically watching you play when we were at Texas State was it was the Dragon Ball ones. I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce it because I will butcher it beyond belief, but you know the exact one I'm talking about, so I will let you say it.
I will. The one I played at Texas State was Raging Blast. But those ones were inspired by the ones that are really hard to pronounce. The Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi.
Yes.
Well,
that sounds like something I would order at a ramen bar.
Yeah, I'll have the Tenkaichi. I felt so cool when I was like 12 or 13 and those games like came out and I was like, I played Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi, so you know.
Then you had people like me like Dragon Ball Z can't get
and then I was like, ugh, get away from me, you Madden fanboy.
I'm not even gonna lie, I played a shit ton of Madden as a kid. Just Madden 03 though. I had it on the GameCube and I would play some of the early and listen to Andrew WK.
The early Madden, some of them were like Madden 04. I don't know if you ever got to play it. That game goes pretty hard.
Yeah, some of the early Madden, like I said, I had 03 and it was pretty fun.
Yeah, Madden 04 Madden 04 got me into Escape the Fate, so that brought me into my emo phase during the early teen years. I'm glad I'm not into that.
Oh, like I said, they had Party Hard by Andrew WK on the 2003 one. So, you know, little 8-year-old Colton was shotgun and beers, joints, having a great time.
Party on! Some of those games had really good soundtracks.
The Dragon Ball games, though.
You know, some of them are not very good. But Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, that one has aged so beautifully. It's simple yet complex. It's one of those games that's easy to learn, hard to master.
Those are my favorite types of games because I love getting deep into a game. Like, this isn't a licensed game or anything, but it's not an unpopular opinion. But Dark Souls is like my favorite game of all time. It's one of those that
Oh,
the
that must be
concept is
one of
easy
those
to grasp.
little small indie games that not a lot of people know about.
Yeah,
Is
one of those hidden gems.
those Steam for 99 cents. Yeah.
But it's like I said, combat it's not super hard to understand, but to really get in depth and learn like the best way to level your stats, parrying the perfect times, like it's so good.
No, I need to get the remastered one because they got Dark Souls remastered now. So I have no excuse not to check it out.
You have a PS4.
Yes, I do.
I will carry you. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I'm not amazing, but I can hold my own.
I played it once with some friends when I used to go to Texas State. The second time.
Mm-hmm.
The second time I went to Texas State. And yeah, I got my butt kicked so hard. Oh man.
We're gonna go back to licensed games now. Speaking of Texas State, like the one.
Oh, I think I know. Yeah,
GoldenEye.
GoldenEye's good.
Everybody loves GoldenEye. GoldenEye's it's good.
It's fine. It's old. It probably hasn't aged that well.
I mean, I played it recently, and it probably is better than the one I'm going to say. But the nights staying up till 4 a.m. playing this game together, 007 Nightfire.
Oh, I knew you were gonna go for that.
The funnest you'll ever have with your friends.
Yes, it has some of the best multiplayer.
What we used to do, no weapons. We would run at each other because the punching animation in the
it's
game
great.
It's
beautiful.
It looks like a bear swipe. And we would just hand fight each other, and you can't see, but I'm doing the motion of it, and I don't know if I've ever laughed that hard in my life.
If it's you and 3 friends playing Nightfire, even just you and one other person, it's great. It's hilarious.
The single player in the game, it's okay. The story's okay. It's typical James Bond, but there's something magical about those old 007 games
with the multiplayer, the 4-player split screen, all that good stuff.
Yeah, like I know everybody, especially our generation, they think multiplayer is like Modern Warfare 1 and 2 were like the big ones that everybody played, but I grew up in an area with horrible internet, so I never got to do that. So the only multiplayer I had was split screen with my friends, and to this day I wish more games had that because there's something in my heart that just it gets happy.
Yeah, I know some of the newer I think Call of Duties, they took out like split screen, like you can't play with your friends on the couch anymore in some of the newer games. And that sucks. Like, why would you do that?
It's such a shame to me. Because it was so fun to me to play with some friends, co-op on the couch, but throw a bunch of bots in on easy difficulty so we could just feel like gods. And then we would actually try playing online and be absolutely horrible. But
that's how I was whenever I would like bring Mortal Kombat online. Like, I played Mortal Kombat versus DC online. I guess that technically counts as a licensed game.
Yes, or just fighting games in general. Like, among my friend group, I'm decent at Smash. Like, I'm not amazing, but I can hold my own. But as soon as I go online, it is...
Oh, God. I think I'm pretty decent, like, in general at the game, because I just played a lot of it. I'm probably a little rusty now, but...
It is, but so there's some games too that I was thinking when people say licensed games, I normally immediately just think movies, TV shows, that type of stuff. But there's some games that have in-world, like real life licensing, and I will go on the record.
It sounded like you said there's some games that have a N-word, and I was like, do tell. I want to know about those games.
Well. I don't know how bad I can get with this, but I do have the Black College Football experience on Xbox 360.
I feel like you've told me about this before. It's like
that is one of my prized gaming possessions.
It's the Black College Football experience.
The game itself, is kind of a shitty football game, but the piece de resistance is. The halftime is a rhythm game where you control the marching band.
Oh, heck yeah, bro.
And it is incredible. But going back, real world licensing. skateboarding video games.
Oh,
They have a
for
ton of real world
sure.
brands in them. They have like the skate series had Dr. Pepper and Monster energy drinks in it. And this is just me wanting to talk about how much I love skateboarding games and how many hours of my life I have put into them. The skate series alone, I have put probably about 3,000 hours of my life into.
See, I never got a
And I didn't
chance
get that.
to play skate because after Tony Hawk, I was like, oh man, it's not gonna get as good as this anymore. So I just kind of ignored it.
Different approaches to the genre, but I didn't even get that until I was about 20. So from the time I was about 13 to 19, I would only play Tony Hawk games.
Yeah, I remember
So
you told me you were
just
like, I got a 360, and I was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I got a 360. I'm like, but the Xbox One is out. You're like, no, it's fine. I got a 360. I was like, okay.
yeah, the entire reason I bought 360 was this is in the period of my life where I had kind of fallen away from video games, but I've always been a pretty avid skateboarder. And I remember going to skate shops and playing the skate series there and thinking like, this is really freaking cool. So I bought a 360 like 7 years after it released just to play those games.
Honestly, the 360 is probably the best one of that generation.
Oh, it absolutely. Like in high school and all that, I remember everybody, there was a few select weirdos that were like, PS3 is better. But 90% of everybody had a 360.
I only ended up getting a
And it was-
360 because of the Kinect, and I was like, whoa, this looks super cool. And then I got it, and I was like, wow, this is really terrible.
But we all know the best thing to ever grace the 360. Your and I's autistic selves can come out. The re-release of Sonic Adventure 2.
Oh, of course. So anyway, you got Big the Cat. No, I was kidding.
I don't even want to get started on that
That's
pathway.
just a
But yeah, just
goddamn good
real
game.
world sports video games.
Yeah,
are-
the Tony Hawk games are freaking amazing. Most of them.
Eric
Most of them.
Sparrow still brings rage into my life when I hear the name.
No, I remember learning about like all the really evil people in history, and like Hitler, Mussolini, like Genghis Khan, and I was like, yeah, teacher, but like, do any of these really compare to Eric Sparrow from the first Tony Hawk Underground?
When he stole your footage.
He stole
of
your
doing the
footage!
clip over the helicopter.
Wait, the thing is, did it say he like doctored it, right? Like, or did he just like say it was him?
Doctored it, said it was him. Yeah, and he jacked your part.
The thing
And
is,
so-
though, like now that I'm into video editing, and I'm thinking of what was around in 2004 for like your average Joe Blow person with a computer. How did he do that?
Eric Sparrow finds ways, man.
His evil
Which I'll
and
say, like
his evilness.
playing the game the first time at the very end of the game, you have to do the whole mission where you skate around the neighborhood and you win it from him that way.
Mhm.
But if you've beaten the game once and you do that again, instead of having to do that whole mission, you just punch him in the face and take your footage back.
Do you
And that was
really?
one of the most.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I don't know if I've ever beaten
have
it twice.
I have beaten that game. I have beaten it 13 times.
Jesus, I've probably
have a
played it a few
problem.
times. Yeah, no, it's a good game and the soundtrack was, oh my god, the soundtrack, dude.
Oh, that's technically licensed in the world. That has introduced me to so many bands that I grew to love, and then not to mention the bands that I already loved that were in the games, and hearing Iron Maiden on Pro Skater 4, just being like, oh hell yeah!
You want to
Motorhead and
hear something funny?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a kid, I think the first Tony Hawk game I played was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, and they had Express Yourself by NWA, and I was like, oh man, I'm really jamming into this song. I love Will Smith. Because at the time I knew that Will Smith was an actor, and I knew he did music. I don't know how I knew that, because I was like 9, but I was like, yeah, Will Smith does music, and I was like, this sounds a lot like something Will Smith would do. I was like, this sounds like something Will Smith would do, because there's no cussing. It's such a clean NWA song.
The message of the song too is such a. Okay, before we get back to video games, this reminded me of one thing. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to call anybody out, but there was a guy that we went to high school with who was a self-proclaimed hip-hop head. And I remember I was on the bus one day, and me and a friend had put on NWA Straight Outta Compton. You know, if you're a hip hop head, that should be required learning, right?
Of course, yes.
He walks up to me and goes, "Man, what is this? This is great." And I'm a 15-year-old white guy, like, how do you not know who NWA is? He was sitting there bobbing his head, just like, this has so much feeling to it. And I was like, you lose all credit with me.
You're not a hip hop head. You were, you know, what it was I know when we were like teenagers and like young tweens, I think what it was that a lot of people were like, I listen to Lil Wayne, I'm a hip hop head. And like, that's it.
I remember there was is Yellow Wolf a rapper? That sounds familiar.
Yeah, he's on he's on Eminem's label. He's not too bad.
I remember this guy was in love with him. That was his favorite rapper. So I'm versed in 90s hip hop like any suburban white boy should be.
Obviously.
But anything past like 2004, well, from the periods of like 2004 to 2016, I'm a little out of the loop on. I've always been more of a rock-oriented guy.
I used to be more rock-oriented. I still am. I still love rock music. But I think the first modern rapper I got into was Lupe Fiasco. He's actually pretty good.
You loving it. He's good. I think the first one that I was really into, because I've always enjoyed 90s hip-hop. Being a suburban white boy, it's requirement. We know nothing about the struggle of gangland violence, but
it's like suburban white kid. You have to know about botany. You know, you have to know how to like install like a new TV box, and then 90s hip hop, and then that's just
Tupac is my homeboy.
Exactly.
But I remember at Texas State, you and I don't know if you remember this, we were in my room listening to it was probably NWA. It was something from that like era,
I think it was when you were trying to show me like Ghetto Boys, I think. Was it that time?
It could have been Ghetto Boys, but I remember a guy just walking down the hallway, pops his head in, and it's like, "Hey man, have you ever listened to a guy named LP and Killer Mike?" And I was like, I cannot say that I have ever heard of those names.
Killer Mike, that sounds dangerous.
What type of man would name himself that?
Who would kill an innocent microphone?
And from there, finding Killer Mike solo stuff, and then obviously Run the Jewels, and being like, oh wow, maybe all new rap isn't garbage.
Run the Jewels is fantastic.
I just listened to their first album the other day, and Killer Mike's rap music, which the song Reagan, if nobody's ever heard it, is a masterpiece, if I do say so myself. Enough about
anyway, it wasn't this about licensed games? Jeez.
I tried, Derek. I tried to stay on track for you, buddy.
No, that's fine. We should make an episode about music, definitely.
Oh, I love video games now. As a kid, I loved them, and I love them now. Like I said, there's a period of my life where I kind of dipped out of it, but music is another level of love for me. I would love to do an episode on music in the future.
Yeah, because I love music. Recently, I've gotten really into movies. Just I guess after working at a movie theater, I kind of just got it more into movies.
I could totally see that. I need to brush up on some stuff. Have you seen The Lighthouse? Just out of curiosity.
Yes, it was freaking amazing.
I watched it once and I was unsure what to think. I was like, I don't think I'm smart enough to get this.
But I
watched it again.
So
that
odd.
movie's fantastic. It's so good.
It's so odd. It really. If anyone hasn't seen it out there, it is odd. I will be straight up front. It's a very weird movie, but it's really good.
The very end, no spoilers, but when he's screaming, that terrified me.
Oh yeah, for sure. We've all felt that though. You know, we felt that.
So other licensed games.
We were talking about this one. We were talking about this one earlier. I remember I forgot what year it was, but the year the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie, the remake came out. We went to go see it in theaters with my family. The one starring Johnny Depp. And for Christmas, I was like, Mom, I want the new Charlie and the Chocolate Factory video game for PS2 because the movie was amazing and this game's gonna be amazing. And I played it. Now I want to talk about what happens after.
See, I feel so bad for you because I did end up purchasing the game for like $2 years later when I heard how bad it was.
See,
and I was like,
that
I
is
have to see.
That
and
is $1.99 too much for what you paid.
I got amusement out of how bad it was. I'm a masochist like that. But I knew what I was going into. I can't imagine what little Derek Christmas Day, like, oh boy, I can't wait to play is little Colton was opening up Lego Star Wars, which, hell yeah, we have to talk Star Wars games.
We're going to have to, we can let this, because we're at 55 right now. We can let it go for close to 2 hours. I don't mind.
Okay. But yeah, so Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is, like I said, Colton was playing Lego Star Wars. Great game.
Lego Star Wars
were playing
amazing.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, no, the thing is, when you're a kid, like, your mind does things to protect itself so that you don't grow up to be a messed up individual, which unfortunately I still grew up to be somewhat of a messed up individual. But my mind convinced myself that I was like, wow, this game is either really good and I just suck at it. I'm just bad. I just need to get good. I just need to get good at it. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to explain some of the gameplay. You play as Charlie. You get candy powers. You throw like gumballs and gobstoppers at Oompa Loompas. So essentially, the game is you torturing a bunch of little people, which I find to be extremely offensive. But I
don't know what you're talking about. That sounds like the greatest game ever made. The only thing that would be better, I know this is a derogatory term now, but they use it in advertisements. They need to make an Extreme Midget Wrestling video game.
Extreme Midget Wrestling. But like famous midgets. So it'd be like that guy who played the Oompa Loompas in the remake of Charlie and Chocolate Factory. That one comedian dude. I forget his name.
Have you not seen Extreme Midget Wrestling?
Is that a real thing?
It is 100% a real thing. It is little people who traveled. They came to a bar, not technically a bar. It's a barbecue restaurant, but it's a bar.
It's a bar.
It's just a bunch of little people in full-on like WWE outfits,
and they just wrestle.
Wrestling, and it is the greatest thing ever devised by man.
That sounds pretty. I don't even know what to think of that.
And I would absolutely like if they made an Extreme Midget Wrestling game in the vein of like the Nintendo 64 wrestling games.
Oh, like the old WWE games? Yeah.
My heart would be so happy.
What were we even talking about before this? What led to this?
Licensed games. You were talking Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh yeah, how you torture a bunch of little people. Yeah, I just remember playing the first level a lot because you were in the snow and you had to chase like the $10 bill or whatever that Charlie finds. That was okay.
The golden ticket.
The golden ticket. Yeah, no, that was a really bad game. But I guess we could go on to Star Wars games because there's a lot.
Yeah,
we could pick some of the best ones.
There's some. I will. Lego Star Wars was one of I'm not gonna say my first video games, but it was pretty early on in my gaming life, and that is one of the games I am most proud of 100%ing.
Oh, for sure. I don't remember if I 100% it, but I'm pretty sure I got close.
I spent so many hours of my life, and fun fact about me. Lego Star Wars 2 is one of only 2 games that I ever pre-ordered, and the only game that I ever pre-ordered in a store.
What was the other one?
I pre-ordered Dark Souls Remastered on PS4 so I could play it at midnight when it launched.
Oh, so it's like the duality of man. It's Lego Star Wars and Dark Souls.
And Dark Souls. That is my personality completely.
I think do you think it was coordinated like that Doom and Animal Crossing came out on the same day? Do you think Nintendo and was it From Software?
id Software. FromSoft is Dark Souls.
Okay, so do you think Nintendo and id were like, all right, let's the memes are gonna be great. Let's release our game on the same day.
I really do love that the joke's been done a million times, but the duality of man.
The uwuality.
Of having the. I hate you.
the uwuality.
Don't even get me started on the phrase "ooh
woo." I think what sucks is me and my girlfriend we use that as jokes in the beginning of our relationships. We're like, oh, you trying? I would send her, "You trying to owo," and she would just send an owo back, and like an uwu. But now we kind of just use it.
I have not gotten to that point with my girlfriend yet, but I
You will.
am
You will.
really good at writing in the cringiest, neckbeardiest ways of like, oh hello, ooh, I hope I didn't startle you, and I'm gonna stop there before the audience gets too aroused. But
It's too late. It's too late for me.
Time.
But Lego Star Wars is yes.
In your opinion, what was better, Lego Star Wars 1 or Lego Star Wars 2? We're not going complete saga or anything like that. Just
I didn't play much of Lego Star Wars 2. I will be honest.
You were missing out. The correct answer is they're both equally as good.
It's because I guess I was more familiar with the prequels as a kid.
I understand. See, I had a nerd as a father growing up who had the VHS copies of the original Star Wars, so I grew up watching those, and as the prequels came out, I was able to... Episode 1, I was a little young for, but 2 and 3, I vividly remember coming out and being super excited for.
But did you know that they're re-releasing all of the Lego Star Wars games?
But isn't it going to be an open world, as far as I'm aware?
I haven't seen any gameplay. I saw the trailer and I pre-ordered it. I know nothing. I just know it's going to be called Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, which for cert I'm aware that it has 1 through 3, 4 through 6, and then I guess Force Awakens too, because that's a Lego. They made a Lego Force Awakens.
Well, as far as I'm aware, it's not just a re-release.
It's like a complete, like, ground up. Like, they're making it like they did with those Crash games.
Episodes 8 and 9 might be in there, too, which I personally don't care for.
I'm sure I was like, if anyone can make those movies palatable, it's the people behind Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, because honestly, you put the words Lego, Star, and Wars together, and it's magic.
You had me at leg.
You had me at stuff.
You had me at You had me at
You had me at war. Where are we going, brother?
you had me at war. Kim Jong-un has entered the chat.
Has he, or has he exited the chat? This might date the podcast, but we don't know if he's alive or dead.
Last online 10 minutes ago.
But Star Wars game. Did you get a chance to play the newest one, Jedi Fallen Order?
I have not, and I don't think I will, because I saw a clip that has him fighting a giant spider, and I'm highly arachnophobic.
Understandable. If you ever that is, I don't think, avoidable. But it's not till later in the game. You can always play the first half.
It looks really good. It looks kind of like Force Unleashed, but not as intense.
Picture if Dark Souls and Star Wars got drunk at a bar, went home, made some sloppy love, and that is this game.
Sounds like me. Sounds like how I was born.
Knowing your dad's complete avoidance of alcohol makes it even funnier.
Yeah, if you knowing who my dad is makes that joke even funnier.
But it is
I need to check it out.
Really fun game.
Because I know
I'm not gonna say it's a perfect game, but it's fun.
Because I know, since I was apprehensive when they were like, "Hey, we gave Lucas Games is gone, and we're giving the license to EA." I was like, "Oh no, don't do that."
Oh no!
I was like, "Don't."
The only criticism I have with it, as far as I'm aware, it was originally going to be rated M with full dismemberment of stormtroopers and all that.
So kind of like Force Unleashed, how you could basically torture people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you still kind of can, but you can't cut their arms and stuff off. You can only do that to non-human enemies now.
They had to
It's still fun cutting stuff in half, but I really wanted to cut stormtroopers all up.
I really wanted to cut.
I wanted to inflict pain. Star Wars in general.
There's just some really good games.
The one it has to be talked about.
Oh, you're talking about let me do this for you. Super Bombad Racing for PS1. Starring. No, I know where you're going. Battlefront.
Growing up, I was a Gamecube kid, so I sadly didn't get to own them. But a real close friend of mine who only happened to live a mile down the road had it on his PS2, and I would go. I remember having the time of my life going over there with him, playing those games till 2 a.m, eating Little Caesars pizza and drinking soda, and it was magical.
I didn't really play the full game, but I don't know if you remember this, but PS2 had a lot of like demo discs. You would get these discs in the mail.
Yeah.
And there was one with the Battlefront 2 demo, and I replayed the heck out of that like 20 times.
I will say I don't know if this is a controversial opinion or not. I prefer Battlefront 1 to 2. Something about it is
yeah, hello police.
Damn, you found me out. But I mean, they're both incredible. You can't go wrong with either one.
They made a version for PSP. I remember seeing commercials for that, so you could like take it on the go.
I actually happen to own the PSP, the white one with Darth Vader on the back.
Oh shoot! I didn't know. I kind of regret not asking for a PSP as a kid.
I loved mine. Sadly, I broke it into a million pieces basically over the years. But while it was functioning, I really loved mine.
I just remember that our friend Jordan would tell us that he would watch porn on it, and that's why I wanted one.
They were good for that. I'm not gonna lie, but
not as good as the Nintendo Wii, of course.
You feel like you're in the porn, I pretty much only played Star Wars, Battlefront, Renegade Squadron, and then they re-released Tony Hawk's Underground 2 and a port of Tony Hawk's Project 8. Those are pretty much the only games I ever played on the PSP, but I had the time of my life with it.
Did you ever get to play the game that was based on Star Wars Episode 3?
I played Episode 3 on the Nintendo DS. I know apparently the Xbox, I believe it was Xbox version, was supposed to be really good, but I only had the shitty DS1,
I know
wasn't even. They
had a PS2 and Xbox. I'm not too sure about GameCube, but
no GameCube.
Well, that's just un-American.
I know. That's me being a Nintendo fanboy is what I get.
You're like, no, they didn't port it to my system. But it's
the curse of a Nintendo fanboy.
It's genuinely a pretty good like beat 'em up like adventure game. Like you get force powers and stuff like that. Like, it's pretty cool.
Everything I heard about it, was that it was a really fun game, and I one day would like to go back, and I've seen it at retro game shops for really cheap. I should pick it up and play it sometime, just because I do love Star Wars.
They need to put it on Steam really so I could like stream it. That would be awesome. If they put it on Steam, I would stream that. Gotta
get Ninja to petition to put it on Steam, and they will.
He'll hop straight from Fortnite. He'll be like, all right, guys, this is I'm a Star Wars Episode 3 for PS2 streamer. I'll do nothing but that. Once I finish the game, I'll play it again, and I'll play it one more time, and then I'll play it again.
No, he's gonna get so good that he could play it all blindfolded by sound cues.
He's gonna speedrun like those speedruns of Mario 64.
Oh,
like where they jump backwards.
Or he's gonna start doing like the Dark Souls speed runs where they play it with the freaking like fishing remotes and all that.
I forgot what Game Zone was playing, but they jerry rigged the Donkey Kong like bongos to. I think it was Smash Brothers. Like they jerry rigged it to work.
There's so one where they got the Switch's Ring Fit Adventure to work with Dark Souls. And a guy beat it doing that, and it is he is drenched in sweat by the end of it. Like, it is insane.
I have one thing to say, and that's the internet is a mistake.
You're not wrong there, but it has shaped my sense of humor into something that should never have existed. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Oh yeah, I put a 9/11 joke in my last video. Like, I don't know if you watched it, but
what is there to joke about 9/11, Derek? Do you think it's funny that our government bombed ourselves so we could go to war for oil?
All right, licensed games.
Don't even get me started on how 9/11 actually didn't happen at all. It was holograms projected so the American people would get behind the war effort.
And yet they still can't make a good-looking 3D movie.
They just need to go to the master class.
I refuse to believe that the 2010 Clash of the Titans movie came out. I've blocked that out of my, in 3D. I blocked that out of my memory.
Can this podcast subtitle be Masterclass of 9/11?
If I want to make money off this podcast, no.
But okay, so back to licensed games, because that is the topic of today that we have stuck entirely too perfectly.
Exactly.
And not strayed away from.
We've done nothing but talk
whatsoever.
Honestly, I feel like there's a few podcasts that honestly stick to the topic.
And you don't want to listen to those unless it's true crime. True crime podcasts are incredible, and I listen to pretty much nothing but those anymore. And
Sardonicast. Sardonicast is pretty great.
I should check that out. We're not going to delve into other podcasts right now.
Hey, welcome to the podcast, the only podcast where we talk about other podcasts.
Welcome to the podcast. Well, today we'll be discussing which podcasts are better than the podcast that you're currently listening to.
No, please don't.
Which is all of them.
Please don't
Thank
click.
you very much.
Please don't click off. Please, God dang it.
Derek needs to feed his kids.
I need to feed my ducklings.
Daddy,
Holy crap.
I haven't eaten in 7 days.
How did ducks learn to speak human English?
Daddy, it was when you inseminated that female duck. I don't know how you did it, but we're human duck hybrids.
Human duck hybrids? Okay, there's a good license game. Speaking of ducks, do you remember the classic, remembered Sitting Ducks show from Cartoon Network?
I actually cannot say that I do.
It was a show about two separate neighborhoods. One had ducks in it and the other had alligators in it. And the alligators would eat the ducks. But one fateful night, an alligator comes and tries to harass and sexually molest another duck. And he gets injured and the duck takes care of him and they become friends. And the whole show's about their friendship as a duck and an alligator.
I can't tell if you're bullshitting me right now or if this is real.
He didn't molest him. He tried to eat him, but
this whole concept,
it's a real show, and they made a game out of it, which boggles my mind because it wasn't
were we smoking back then.
And the game is really difficult. I don't think it was just my stupid young brain. It's just a very difficult game. You play as the duck, and you have to go and do normal things. Get a driver's license and make money. That's probably why it's so hard. It's
I need to play this game. It sounds incredible.
GTA for preschoolers. It's really interesting. And it has a multiplayer mode where you can race. And the main mode of transportation for these ducks is scooters. They all ride scooters. Barely anyone drives cars.
Oh my god!
It's
what system was this on?
It was on PS2. I know. I don't know if it was on anything else, but I know for certain it was on PS2. I'll probably put while I'm editing, I'll put a picture on the screen so that people can see what we're talking about.
I need this in my life at this point. That sounds incredible.
If we can somehow
get licensed.
We both stopped talking. If we can, okay, I'll say mine real quick. If we can ever jerry rig a PS2 to get streaming, and we could stream that game together, it'll be great.
I would love that. Did you ever though get any licensed games that were garbage, but you played because they were gifts?
So, going with my theme of asking for really terrible Christmas presents, one fateful year I asked my parents for the Shark Tale video game.
Oh my god!
It was odd. The thing is, I think it sucked because they just tried to do too much. They tried to put too many different playstyles in this game.
It was too ambitious.
It just was ahead of its time. We just weren't ready for it. There was sections that were 2D and you would swim around in a 2D space. There was sections where it was kind of when you're getting chased by a bear in Crash Bandicoot, you're walking forward towards the screen. Mm-hmm. There was rhythm sections like Guitar Hero where you would dance. And the song Can't Touch This played at every single rhythm section. And there was 5 of them in the game.
I don't know how this game didn't become the greatest selling game of all time.
Honestly, me neither. They should remaster it. Forget the SpongeBob remaster. Remaster Shark Tale the game.
Right now, I know the game's pretty much completely done. Drop it. Frick that game. I caught myself. I'm a good boy. Frick that game. We need Shark Tales HD.
We need Shark Tales. Stop it.
We need Shark Tales 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Shark Tales 2, but this time with more racial stereotypes. You look at that movie as an adult and you're like, wow.
Is there a way that we could throw a Hasidic Jew into it?
A Jewfish? I mean, technically, Martin Scorsese, he voices one of the... Is Martin Scorsese Jewish?
Probably.
I think so. He voices
We
one
need
of the
Larry
fish.
David in there, though.
That's what it is. We need Curb Your Fish. Curb Your... Some of the racial jokes in that movie don't even make sense. Like, there's a part where Oscar goes to the Martin Scorsese fish, and he's trying to give him a high five, and he fails to do it. He's like, "That's okay. A line of white fish can't do it." What the hell does that mean? What does that mean?
It would have been even better if they threw a white men can't jump joke into it.
You know, white fish can't jump.
Can't jump.
There was a Finding Nemo game. I rented it. I remember that was back when you could rent things.
I had it on GameCube.
Was it good? I don't remember.
No, but as a small child, that was one of the first games, because I got the GameCube 2001 when it released. I was about 6 years old, and that was one of the first games when it came out. I remember getting it. What year did Finding Nemo come out? Was it like 2004?
It was like 2003 or 4, one of those years.
Okay, so I was about 8 or 9 when it came out, though, and I remember playing it, and I thought it was real hard, but I loved it because I was a stupid little kid, and looking back, that game was a piece of shit.
I want you to put this in perspective for me. So last year, The Lighthouse came out, not nominated for any Oscars. Shark Tale, nominated for Best Animated Picture.
Well, it is clear that Shark Tale is a superior movie.
It's a better movie, obviously.
I don't know why we're even having this discussion.
Yes, you know what? Yeah, you're right. I'm showing my ignorance. There was...
You work at a movie theater, bro.
I gotta know something.
I'm gonna tell your manager.
I am the manager.
I'm gonna tell your girlfriend to yell at you.
Oh, wait, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. For some, like, at the time when we were kids, there was just so many... like games based on movies. If a movie came out, there was a good chance there was a game based on it.
Yeah, I remember playing, and I will stand by. It's still fun. Everybody talks about Spider-Man 2 being incredible.
It is
I
incredible.
never had that game.
It was incredible.
I had Spider-Man 1 on the GameCube.
That one was.
I really enjoyed that game.
It laid some good groundwork.
I will say it took me forever, but as a child, when I finally beat it 100% on the hardest difficulty and unlocked the ability to play as the Green Goblin.
Oh yeah, see, I
was a little terrorist.
What's the difference between that you as a 6-year-old and you now?
Nothing.
Exactly.
But I would fly around on the glider and just machine gun everything that I possibly could, just because it was a gun in a video game, and I wasn't supposed to play video games with guns. But I snuck around that. I remember
I was such a goody two shoes kid that I was playing that game and I was fighting like the random thugs, and one of them was like, get over here, you little punk. And I was like, I got so freaked out. I went downstairs, told my mom. I was like, Mom, I was playing a game and they just said the P word. And she's like, what word? I was like, they said I can't say it. She's like, what word was it? I was like, they said punk. She just is like, it's fine. You could keep going. You could keep playing your game. It's okay.
And she just looked at you and been like, you little pecker-faced pussy, get back up there and show that game who's boss.
She's like, I can't believe I raised such a narc.
And sticking with Spider-Man, though, have you played the one on PS4?
Oh, I beat it. I didn't beat it 100%, but I beat the story. Phenomenal.
It's so good.
Absolutely phenomenal.
So good. Like, I was a little late to the PS4 game, but I was actually in generation this time, unlike with the 360, and I got that game, and I was blown away. I was like, video games have progressed so much since I was a child.
Like, imagine if you were a person and like you played like Pong or like something on the Atari, and then like you're like, okay, well, I'm bored with this, and you never touch video games again, and then all of a sudden you buy a PS4 and you're like, I want to rekindle that childhood magic, and you pop in a copy of like Grand Theft Auto 5.
See, the thing is, though, with that, like, my mother, not a gamer or anything, but she grew up in the time that, like...
You mean your mother wasn't a gamer?
She remembers playing. Oh, she's elite gamer, girl. You could buy her bathwater now, but,
How much? I mean, what?
She pisses in a cup. You can buy my mom's pee. But, no, for real, she grew up playing, like, the Mario, Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario Brothers 3, and she loved them, and, then, you know, she never played video games again because she was a poor kid and couldn't afford it. But when I got my GameCube and I got Super Mario Sunshine with it, I remember her being really excited because she grew up playing Mario. She's like, I can re-experience this game that I loved. She
Oh,
tried
no.
playing it. She's like, this makes me dizzy. I don't understand this. Why is he moving around so much? She's like, I want to go left to right, and that's it.
I remember, well, I guess this is a licensed game. My mom, the only game she would be able to play with us that she would enjoy and like have a fun time, I had Wheel of Fortune for the PlayStation 2.
That sounds incredible.
It's actually kind of fun. Like, it's probably hasn't aged the best because it's just Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, that wasn't even me being sarcastic. Playing like game show video games or board game video games with your friends is a fun time.
We're gonna have to do that when all this like death and despair for the virus that I can't say the name of, or else we'll get demonetized. But when all that's over, we're gonna have to have a game night.
Is that really a thing?
For a while, they were they were demonetizing the word. I think they stopped it recently, but I'm not too sure.
What if you were talking about the beer?
I'm having a C-word beer. Wait.
It is a Mexican especial lager that pairs very well with a nice crisp lime.
It is Dos Equis.
It's cancer.
Oh boy, I love sure drinking a nice cold glass of cancer. Oh, there was a whole bunch of you know what? I played a lot of as a kid. The Fairly Odd Parents game Shadow Showdown. Did you ever play that one?
Was that any good?
Yeah,
I did not.
It's pretty easy. It's really easy to beat, but it's honestly not too bad. Like, it's not as good. It's
honestly, that's good though.
It's not SpongeBob.
It's geared towards children, so it should be easier.
Yeah, it's not Battle for Bikini Bottom or anything, but it's honestly not too bad. Like, you play as Timmy, and like you can get like Cosmo and Wanda to give you like different abilities and stuff like that.
Are you Drake Bell Timmy?
Of course, you're the only Timmy. That's the only Timmy. I also remember that I had a Monsters, Inc. video game. I know they had a few of them for PS1, but for PS2, they just had one that was just based off the movie. And it was probably...
Oh, man. Was it good?
It's probably the easiest game I've ever played. Like, I would play it to feel like I accomplished something through the day, because I could beat it in like 2 hours.
So, this game, do you sneak into little kids' bedrooms while they're asleep?
Yes. No.
Asking for a friend.
Asking for a friend. FBI, open up!
You didn't want to join me. What are you talking about? All the people in power are perverts.
Oh, God. Jeffrey Epstein has joined the chat.
Dad?
Just so everyone knows, guys, Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
I actually played a shit ton of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets on the Gamecube.
I've heard those are, like, some of those are, like, legitimately really good, like, open world games.
It was fun. You got to explore Hogwarts. You obviously learned spells throughout. The puzzles in it were good. I remember as a child, I could not beat one level where you had to sneak past all the prefects. But so my mom, that was one of the few times she played video games with me. She beat it for me, and I was like, "Thank you, Mommy."
I actually wasn't. I wasn't allowed to watch Harry Potter as a child. I know a lot of people actually weren't.
A lot of people, yeah, it was, which is strange with the household I grew up in, that they were totally fine with it. The weirdest thing I did in that game was once you got to a certain part, you got your broomstick and you could fly around, and there was one building that the top kind of looked like a bowl that you would skateboard in. So I would make Harry Potter fly on his broom, acting like he was skateboarding, and I would do that for like 30 minutes at a time.
You're like, look, I'm Tony Hawk.
I'm brain dead.
Look at me, Mom. I'm mentally challenged.
I don't know how I enjoyed that as a kid looking back at it.
It sounds kind of fun.
Kids come up with weird stuff, I guess. Did you ever get to play Harry Potter's Quidditch World Cup?
No, I didn't. I wasn't allowed to have anything with the words Harry and Potter, especially Harry.
That's all I own now. Big Harry Hunks volumes 1 through 7.
I remember one time I prank called a Blockbuster back when that was still open, and I was like, "Do you guys have Naughty Slumber Party 6?" And the guy's like, "Nah, man, we got 4 though." I was like, "What?"
I love when people would play along when you crank called them. It was always fun.
Yeah, there was one guy I'll let you talk. It's licensed games.
No, you good. No. This is, I'm sure your story will be better.
I just remember calling one, I forgot what I called. It was a restaurant. I asked I was like, "Is this the Krusty Krab?" And the guy totally played along with it. Total bro moment. And at the end, he was like, "Oh, this is pretty awesome. Okay, have a nice day."
I remember one time, me and some friends prank called Domino's Pizza, and we're like, can I buy a single packet of ketchup? And I was like, what? He's like, I want just one packet of ketchup. And he goes, yeah, that'll be $600. Thanks. And he hung up.
I've only gotten one prank call while working at my job, and it was a group. It sounded like
with the kids nowadays.
Yeah, I know. They need to step up their game. It sounded like a group of girls, and they were like, "Hey, do you guys sell bracelets?" I was like, "Bracelets?" They're like, "Yeah, do you guys sell bracelets?" And so I was like, "Please hold." And I put them on hold, and I called the manager, and I was like, "Hey, do we sell bracelets?" And the manager's laughing. He's like, "No." And so I picked the phone back up, and I was like, "Sorry, no, we don't sell bracelets." And then all I hear is, and then they just hung up. I was like, "Okay, you kids need to step it up."
We need to introduce the art of prank calling back, because
it's just sad. It really is sad.
It's pathetic.
Come on.
Don't worry, bro. I'll prank call your work for you.
Thank
I'll
you.
make it enjoyable.
Thank you. I need something. Of course, I won't be the one answering it now, but I'll hear about it.
Oh, I'll be like, may I speak to your manager, please? I was assaulted in the bathroom. And they'll be like, oh, this is an emergency. And they'll transfer it to you, and I'll be like, huh? the asshole stores, they ran out of you.
You'll be like, hey, is your refrigerator running? Then you paid the electric bill, unlike my dad. And then you'll just hung up.
Hey, are you in a happy relationship right now?
What's it like?
Bye.
What's it like? Please tell me. Tell me what it's like.
I'm actually in a very happy relationship right now.
Me too.
But yeah, that's good to hear.
We got to double date one of these days. We got to double date.
We really do. Once quarantine's over,
yeah, for sure.
I miss people.
Me too. I miss restaurants. Speaking of restaurants, did you ever play those Sneak King games or the Burger King games?
Sadly, never got to that. I've wanted to for years. I wanted to play the Pocket Racer one.
I never did either, but I always would watch clips on YouTube of like people like playing Sneak King.
I just remember when it happened. The fact that they were giving out free Xbox 360 games, I was like, What the hell?
Someone at the marketing team was like, they were a bro. They were for sure a bro.
They really, absolutely were.
I miss those days.
Okay, going back to earlier conversation, Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup, one of the funnest sports games. Is that
a racing game? Like you race on the?
No. In the world of Harry Potter.
Oh, Quidditch! It's like soccer, right?
It's a sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You fly on the brooms and stuff.
Yeah, you fly on brooms. You have the main ball that you have to throw through the hoops to get points. There's bludgers that fly around and try to hit people off their brooms, and then there's the golden snitch, which if you catch that, you get 150 points. You pretty much basically win automatically. But I remember playing it as a kid. Legitimately is fun. I went back and replayed it recently, and I was like, this is actually a really good time. But you start as one of the 4 houses of Hogwarts, and you play through that little like tournament bracket basically, and I remember thinking like, oh, that was cool, I beat the game, and then it opens up to the entire world. You get all the countries' Quidditch teams and locations. Yeah, little Colton's mind was blown. I was like, there's so much more to this game than I thought.
Jeez, it's like Crash Team Racing, but like with Harry Potter. I'm honestly kind of sad that like, even though there was a lot of garbage, like I'm sad they don't make as many like licensed games anymore.
It seems like they're coming back though, which is actually, I think, a good time to start slowing down to end the episode. But like I know they're making that Iron Man VR game, which actually looks pretty cool.
They're making that Avengers game too.
The Avengers game, the Spider, as we said,
Spider-Man was
Spider-Man, and then the sequel, which is going to be on PS5, which
I'm excited
about. I'm absolutely buying a PS5 like as soon as it comes out, because
I want to.
Gamer boy back in the life.
But I know like a few months later they're gonna be like PS5 Pro, and I'll be like, God dang it!
Yeah, that's true. Because I do have a PS4 Pro,
and I have an original.
I always like. The only reason I bought it was because it was on sale for $100 off, and I was like, this is like $50 more than a PS4 normally. Like, I'm just gonna get the nice one.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
That led to me spending way more money though, because I was like, well, I want to get a 4K TV now, and I know PC Master Race, that is the best way to play I'm a loser. My friends play on PlayStation, so I bought it so I can play with them, and I bought it to play Bloodborne. That was the entire reason I bought my PlayStation.
I play sometimes on PC now that I actually have a gaming laptop. I played a little bit of Ori and the Blind Forest, or I know Ori and the what's the first the first one's the Blind Forest, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The new one is, I believe,
Will of the
Ori
Wisps.
and the Will of the Wisps.
The thing is, though, I got kind of scared because the spider came on my screen, and I was like, I don't know, man. So I gotta finish. I don't like spiders.
Get your girlfriend to play that part for you.
I will. She's the man in the relationship. She'll have to.
Come on, Derek. It's
time to watch the spiders. I'm like,
You're gonna do what I say, damn it.
But yeah, I guess there is a little more of the newer style of licensed games, which a lot of them are being like handed off to like really big companies. Like I know Insomniac work on Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. And they're all turning out good though. Is the thing. All these newer licensed games are. I'm sure there's still garbage. There's always
there was a recent Nicktoons racing game, which sounds kind of cool, but there's literally 8 characters. Half of them are Ninja Turtles, and there's no voice acting.
That is a travesty.
Why would you? What's the point of even making it a Nicktoons game if you're not even gonna talk?
And see, I can understand if they had a big roster, but it was all new Nicktoons that I don't know because I'm an old man now. Like, preferably it would be all the 90s ones that I grew up with.
No, they're gonna have the kid from the Loud House, which I've actually I've actually heard it's a pretty good show.
House actually
I heard it's
too bad.
Yeah, I've heard
on my last vacation, it was on in the hotel and I watched it and I was like, oh, this ain't terrible. But the fact that it's 8 characters, 4 of which
are
the Ninja Turtles,
which I don't mind because I like the Ninja
SpongeBob
Turtles.
Has to be there.
Yeah, it's like SpongeBob, Patrick, and like Angelica, I think, and Tommy. Like it's just not a lot of it's not a lot of stuff. And it's a PS4 game that was sold at full price, I believe.
I mean, I'd pay that just to play as Angelica. I'm sold.
I want to play as the doll. I want to play as Cynthia.
Oh, dude, Cynthia was that was Colton's sexual awakening at 6 years old.
Was it Cynthia?
No. No, that was Princess Jasmine and Aladdin. But that'll be a different podcast.
There was one more licensed game that just came into my head now that we were talking about cartoons. Did you ever play Antonetti the Misadventures?
I did not, but I've heard nothing but glowing praise for that game, surprisingly.
It's surprisingly just a solid like platformer adventure game.
When you use an existing property right like that, it can be fun because it's recognizable as a little kid. You see it in the story, you're like, I know that. I want to be them. Let me be Ed, please.
That's how I felt about Sitting Ducks. I was like, I want to be main character duck so bad.
No, it's about that alligator life, boy.
I don't. Level. I'm trying to remember if you could play as the alligator. I think you could. I'm not too sure though. I'll have to revisit it.
Well, if not, that's racist, and we're gonna cancel it in 2020.
It's been canceled. I think from what it sounded like, the alligator was voiced by like a black guy, and like some of the alligators had more urban accents. So I think it was a racial metaphor, probably.
It probably was. So you're telling me though that. I'm picturing now some alligators sitting on a porch with 40s and brown paper bags and do-rags.
Just like some inner city alligators
wearing Oakland Raiders shirts, being like, "What the hell you want?"
Well, you want to come inside and watch my DVD, A Flavor of Love?
I would love nothing more.
Do you have any any more off the top of your head that you can think of?
Nah, I think this is probably we could cut this little part out as we figure out how to end it. But I think that's a pretty substantial amount of recording done.
Yeah, I think that if anyone else has any more games, please keep it to yourself. No, but
yeah, we don't care about your opinion. You're all beneath us. And with that, we will. Hopefully this one will actually get uploaded. We tried a test run a long time ago now that got deleted, which is probably for the best because I'm sure there were a lot of things said on it that were
there was probably
would get us canceled, and
probably a 30-minute rant about why Hillary Clinton isn't fit to be a president because she's a woman. And
I remember a joke about a transgender Jew who was also transracial. That is all bullshit. That didn't actually happen.
I was trying to. That sounds like something we would say, but I was like, is it? Okay, we're gonna try just last minute upkeep. Or I'm gonna try if Colton's willing to make it a weekly deal. I'm gonna try and do at least a weekly podcast.
I will do my best. I can't guarantee it. Bi-weekly might work a little better, but we'll
do
see
what we can.
Schedule.
If you guys, do you have any links you want to promote? If Colton, Twitter or whatever.
Oh no, that is Twitter's my place to bitch and moan about life, so people don't need to see that.
Maybe like an Instagram. Honestly, I think you should just real quick. I think you should start a YouTube channel. I'd watch it.
Thank you for that. Maybe one. Oh, totally off topic. This doesn't have to be in the podcast, but I know a guy who has a YouTube channel that is actually. You obviously have a YouTube channel that is doing well, but he has a very successful YouTube channel, and he's got a Ninja Milk sponsorship.
Really? So he's like in there.
He's got I think 73,000 subscribers.
Ninja Milk. That's Niki Higa's thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy I work with him. His name's Adam. He runs a channel called Pretty Bored Vids. He's a pretty cool dude.
What does he do?
He kind of doesn't have a set thing that he does. He does a bunch of bullshit. I'll send you some of his better videos though. His Ninja Milk video is really funny.
I used to be like strictly just politics, but I kind of just want to turn the channel into whatever the heck I want to do.
Yeah, honestly, you gotta express yourself, man. NWA, peace out, much love. But, for real though, it's do what makes you happy, bro.
Yeah, I like talking about the thing is though, if I talk about music, I'm. I know for certain that it gets copyright. Like my last video, I had to edit some stuff out, or else it would be blocked worldwide.
I could just sing all the songs myself. It'll be so bad that they won't be able to recognize it.
Well, that happened to someone. Like they were humming a song. They were humming like a Prince song or something like that, and it got claimed. Like I was like, how good are these bots? What do they know? What are they doing?
That is actually kind of terrifying.
It's kind of scary.
Like, that is a scary... So, yeah, YouTube is going to take over the world. This is we're all going to be enslaved to the platform. Please continue listening on YouTube. Like Derek's channel. Subscribe, comment, all that cool stuff. I don't know how YouTubers do things because I am not personally one myself. But Derek knows how to do all this, so you take it away, bud.
I'll leave all my socials in the description. Thank you guys for listening. If you guys like it, just let us know. Like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube jazz that the YouTubers always say. Haha, I said the catchphrase.
And if you hate me, it's gonna hurt my feelings.
That's fine. I'll just take you off and replace you with another minority. So we can just do that.
Wait, I guess technically I'm a minority in San Antonio. Good night.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. I don't know how else to end, so I'll just end it here. See you guys next episode.